Welcome to another episode of Tech Stories by Techarc. If you want to know what the laptops of 2026 are going to look like, the best place to start is right here in 2025. So today we're going to dive deep into this year's key launches to figure out exactly what's coming next.
So we've looked at basically every single laptop launched from January to September, and a really clear picture emerges. It all comes down to three things: making laptops more intelligent, more durable, and more sustainable. And look, this isn't just some passing fad. This is the very blueprint for the kind of machine you'll probably be buying very soon. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we've split our analysis into 6 parts. We'll kick things off with a quick market snapshot, then get into the brand wars, the big shift towards AI and gaming, and of course, what this all means for pricing. After that, we'll look at some of the wild extremes in design, and then we'll put it all together for our 2026 forecast. All right, first things first, let's look under the hood. To really understand the market, you have to start with the basics. What's powering these machines? And just as importantly, where are they coming from? Now this is where things get really interesting. Of course, Intel's traditional x86 architecture is still the king of the hill. No surprise there. But look at Qualcomm, 12%. That is a huge signal that the market is shifting towards ARM-based chips. Now, why does that matter? Well, unlike x86 chips, which are all about raw power, ARM chips are built for efficiency. Think much better battery life, less heat, which, by the way, makes them perfect for all the AI tasks we're seeing. This is a big, big deal. And speaking of where things are made, here's a key number for us here in India: less than 12%. That's the percentage of new models this year that were actually manufactured in India. So despite all the push from initiatives like Make in India, it's pretty clear there's still a long road ahead to build up a strong local manufacturing base. Okay, so that's the tech side. Now let's see how all of this plays out in the strategies of the brands themselves. Who's launching the most, and what does that really tell us about their game plan? Well, the numbers here don't lie, do they? Asus and Lenovo are just leagues ahead of everyone else in terms of sheer volume. But you have to ask, why? Why this super aggressive strategy? It really looks like they're trying to saturate the market, have a laptop for absolutely everyone, for every little niche. It's a classic volume play, and it's fascinating when you see what the other guys are doing. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. It's like two totally different schools of thought. On one hand, you've got Asus and Lenovo carpet bombing the market, trying to hit every single customer. And on the other hand, you have Apple and Microsoft acting like surgeons, making very precise, targeted strikes at the premium, specialized end of the market. A volume play versus a value play. Two completely different ways to win. So we've talked about who is making the laptops and how they're selling them. But let's get to the exciting part. What are they actually putting inside these machines? Because believe me, it's not just about making them faster anymore. And here's the proof. Just look at this. This year, we saw 34 new laptops launched as AI laptops. That's nearly double the number of new gaming models. Now, don't get me wrong, gaming is still a massive and super important segment, but it is crystal clear that AI integration is now the #1 priority for the entire industry. So why is this so important? The key thing to understand here is that this marks a fundamental change in what a PC even is. It's moving away from being just a passive tool that you tell what to do to becoming more of an intelligent partner, a partner that can actually anticipate what you need, automate tasks for you, and boost your productivity using machine learning. This is the new way of thinking. Of course, all this new tech, all this innovation, it has to be paid for somehow. So let's follow the money and see how these trends are showing up on the price tags. Where are manufacturers actually placing their bets? This chart really tells the whole story, doesn't it? The real action is happening in that mid-premium segment, from 70,000 to 1 lakh rupees. But hey, look at the very high end, over 1.5 lakh. That slice of the pie saw more new launches than the 2 segments below it put together. And the budget market, under 50,000, almost completely forgotten, just 3% of new models. Now, if we zoom in on just the AI laptops, the picture gets even clearer. If you want a machine with AI smarts, you're going to be shopping in the mid-range or the luxury tier, period. There was zero, absolutely zero, AI laptops launched for under 50,000 rupees. So for now, these advanced features are definitely a premium. And it's pretty much the same story for gaming. High-end gaming is still a very expensive hobby. The vast majority of new gaming laptops, that's 11 out of the 19 new models, were priced over 1.5 lakh. So if you are hoping to find a brand new gaming laptop for under 70,000 this year, well, you are out of luck.
All right, let's switch gears from what's inside and what it costs to the actual physical device, the design. And here, we're not seeing the market come together on one perfect design. Instead, it's splitting apart, heading towards two completely opposite extremes.
On one side of this big divide, you've got this relentless chase for ultimate portability. We're talking about machines like the Microsoft Surface Pro, which weigh less than a kilogram. These things are built for people who are constantly on the go, where every single gram matters.
And then you have the other end of the spectrum entirely, these performance monsters. Just compare the Featherlight Surface Pro at 0.86 kilograms to the Dell Alienware 18, which comes in at a whopping 4.34 kilograms. I mean, for users of these machines, portability is not even a thought. It's all about raw, uncompromised power. Nothing else matters.
Okay, so we've looked at the processors, the brands, the features, the prices, and the physical designs of 2025. What does all of this tell us about the laptop you might be looking to buy in 2026? Let's bring it all home.
So here are the big takeaways. First, your next laptop is almost certainly going to be AI-centric. These smart features are fast becoming standard. Second, it's probably going to be a premium device, since all the real innovation is happening above that 70,000 rupee price point. Third, it's going to be highly specialized, either ridiculously light for travel or a heavyweight powerhouse for specific tasks. And finally, under the hood, we're going to see more and more diverse chips, like ARM challenging the old guard. You know, after putting all the data from 2025 together, it's pretty clear that AI and specialization are going to define 2026. But that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. What comes next? Once AI is everywhere, what's the next big thing that's going to completely shake up the market all over again? That's the question to keep in mind as we watch this space. Thanks so much for joining us.